the backbone pick of AM, and that's Reddit right there. But the milestone to all of Dota, of course. Here is now Secret versus OG, the start of the draft for Game 2. And a lot of people are thinking what has quickly turned into who can get Earth Spirit first. This time, though, OG will ban it out, seeing that Secret do have first pick.
Yep. No Earth Spirit, or no more Earth Spirit. OG, though, do get the option to go into Invoker, which for the most part has been like a top pick for them. So
Yep.
Don't see any crazy reason why they wouldn't probably pick it, but we'll see.
Venge Bat? Maybe? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Batrite is actually also in the pool. That's.
But then you do risk Secret picking up something like Oracle still. And, it's still, worthy to know, and this might be just, common for everyone out there, but OG, one of those teams that you guys got to keep banning that Wisp against, man. They will pull it out.
Also, there's been there seems to be a kind of divide as to which teams prefer Radiant, which prefer Dire. This is the second game in a row we see OG on that Radiant side. But Secret preferring Dire, OG preferring Radiant. I know EG also prefer Radiant. So yeah, there's been. It was funny because it was the EG versus OG game where there was some confusion in their best of 2 as to who got choice in game 2 because EG chose in game 1 and then game 2 because EG lost game 1 they got asked again and PPD's like what? I chose in game 1, they get game 2.
They're
and
trying to do the summit rules or something?
Yeah, but in a best of 2 that doesn't make sense because you should both get one game. In a best of 3 it's like, well, it's fine to let the loser choose because there's still a game 3. But
a Western team putting early priority into a Faceless Void? My goodness.
It's good. Great against Invoker, which is...
Well, yeah. Great against Invoker. You get your Faceless Void Witch Doctor combo. I mean, I can't fault them on the grab. And time... Wait, we were saying it in the last draft. Time dilation against the Invoker.
Yep.
Very, very good. Great pick there for Secret.
And Witch Doctor has some nice capabilities against Invoker too. Just having Cask against Forged Spirits, you get that extra long stun duration. Makes dealing with them a little bit easier. If you're ever by yourself and like Invoker split pushing and you TP back as Witch Doctor, you're not just instantly dead to Forged Spirits since you can stun them. So it's a little, it's not like a counter by any means, but it's something at least handy that Witch Doctor has going for him.
Yeah. It is pressure though that they make sure they have to actually get the Invoker because let's say Faceless Void Witch Doctor commit on everyone else. Invoker from the outside of a Chrono can be very, very scary and very easily used against them. We'll have to see. Bans now coming out for the second phase. Secret get rid of the Terror Blade, and then followed up with the Moon Shaker, and OG will ban out the Zeus, which always seems to be just the go-to ban after a Faceless Void has been picked, regardless of Eastern or Western team. So they take it out. We'll have to see.
And so OG, like what are they like the Earth Spirit, the Tusk, some of those big crit heroes are both banned out. Curious to see where he goes, or if he plays something like the Venge and they just go for like a Venge Dazzle, or Undying, another big fly hero. But Venge definitely suits Fly as far as playing that 5 position defensive support that can just save a teammate when they're in a bit of a pinch.
That is interesting. What is Crit going to be playing here? Not Wisp, not Tusk, and not Earth Spirit. Those used to be that would be his new holy trinity, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Jakiro, that was a.
Oh yeah, the crit Jakiro. That can be pretty good against the Faceless Void. Just slam Macro Pyro right across it. They're going to want to fight inside that thing. And he's typically a Yule's candidate, so I don't know.
Ban OD. I wonder if they're planning on picking up the Bat Rider. Like having... Because if they were going to go for the Nyx, I think they don't care about banning OD there. Which to me makes me think they're more likely to pick Bat than Nyx as their Moon offlane hero.
That does mean, though, if they commit for a Bat that Secret could get... Oh, no, they've already committed for the Void here. Unless they do something fun with the Void. I wouldn't put it past Secret. This is a team that will run... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a team that ran Earth Spirit mid. Like, they'll take a hero that seems to work in the meta, and they will play it to their kind of a game. So, yeah, I casually say, oh, it could still get like a Misery Nyx, and they could put Faceless Void in a farming position.
Also, I think most interestingly is, I think Game 1, Lone Druid was banned by OG. This time it was not banned or picked. And Secret had been, like, picking Lone Druid for Misery and doing this like Lone Druid Spectre with like an Earth Spirit mid time and time again. They did that like 3 or 4 games in a row, and it did feel like at some point like they were picking it in games where they'd like when they were versing, I think it was Mineski, and it's like they've already won, they know they're going to beat this team, and it felt like a bit of a red herring where they were showing it again even though it wasn't what they felt was their strongest strategy, just because they didn't want to reveal more of their actual like strats. So it was kind of like the saving strats, but while winning while saving strats. So even
Just
better.
doesn't feel like an LD game for either team.
Hmm.
Like Faceless Void's Chrono makes it so sticky. You don't want to pick a
Yes.
Lone Druid against a Witch Doctor.
It's not a Moon hero either, at least not
Yeah.
that we've seen. This
Yeah.
is a crit hero, I want to say.
Oh
but
yeah.
This, I mean, that's the one hero that hasn't gotten talked
They
about.
could still get Moon the Darkseer now too.
Yes, absolutely. Darkseer's been very successful, I feel, as a whole this tournament. For some teams more than others. Like LGD ROTK's had huge success on the hero.
But we're back at Secret now, and casual opener
Secret
Witch
wanna
Doctor
do?
Faceless Void. They want to go real dirty. I don't know if Puppy plans on playing the Witch Doctor. Pi used to play a lot of Skywrath Mage. If you want to really get vicious with this Chrono combo plus the silence, pretty good against Invoker. Not good with the Spirit Breaker though. And okay, they'll step off. They'll grab the Death Prophet. All right, another Death Prophet versus Invoker matchup towards the mid.
So, most likely, yeah, Misery, Void, and they need the Envy carry now. Ember Spirit maybe if they want to go for like their comfort picks. And OG's lineup isn't great at catching or shutting down Ember unless they want to go for the Orchid Invoker, which doesn't seem to be like in vogue at the moment. Seems more about the Exort Forward Spirits. Miracle's been going all about like the split push. Had that one insane game where he was just constantly solo split pushing, impossible to catch. He'll pick him off, but
Man, I wonder if they would consider playing like Silencer or something on the side of OG too for like.
no, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind Silence
So
with
good
Spirit
against
Breaker,
Faceless
charge in
Void,
and-
shuts down Witch Doctor's ward. I don't know. It's Fly after all. Ah, the Rubik.
Ooh, so it will be Moon on Spirit Breaker, and
Okay.
it was funny because when they were playing online tournaments, Moon would joke that he'd just tell his team to pick him Spirit Breaker because he was playing from the US on high ping, and like when he was playing at qualifiers, so he's just like pick me Spirit Breaker, and like it was like the hero to play when you have high ping because you just charge in
And then right click.
and that's it. Like as soon as your charge hits, like you can preemptively cast your ultimate like based on your delay. Like there's not much like reactionary play you have to make on the hero. So it was like the Moon hero of choice when he was lagging. He played it like 10 games in a row apparently.
So what's the significance though of the Rubik here? I mean, we look at potential stealing options. Yeah, you could take Time Walk, which is pretty nice. Chronosphere is usually not too shabby of a snag. Not the easiest to get Death Ward with Voodoo Restoration, of course, and Death Prophet can make it tricky to get the Exorcism. Why the Rubik? You know, a lot of people are starting to consider Rubik. You know, he's a great flashy support, and in the right game, you know, he could be so finicky that you have to get the right positioning in these fights to get the most potential out of him.
I'm wondering if they're considering kind of putting together more of a 5-man push-oriented draft, because that's where like the null field can help
Yeah.
negate some of that deep push coming out from Cryptstorm. Like you have the Forward Spirits, you have the Vengora, and go for more of like a 5-man push, which could justify the Rubik pick. But there's not a whole lot of amazing steals that you can rely on. Death Ward you should theoretically never be able to steal with Voodoo Restoration. Chronosphere is like an okay steal. It doesn't actually stop the Void from moving, and it's not entirely reliable. Exorcism's great if you can catch it. So I actually don't think this was this did not strike me as a particularly good Rubik game. So I don't really have a good answer for you, Dakota.
Yeah, I'm also a bit.
It doesn't-
Even the Bounty Hunter, I'm kind of like, really? Because it's Bounty Hunter into a Spirit Breaker.
Yep.
An Invoker who,
Ooh.
you know, you never know, could end up being a Necrobook Invoker. And Bounty Hunter can't really do much from the outside of a Chrono aside from, I guess you could set up a lot of tracks and diss out a Shuriken. But, hey, another game, another Drow Ranger.
So
The dual aura combo strat here coming out.
Yep. Well, to go back to the Rubik, now it makes sense because it will be that kind of push strat 5-man. You get through some null field in there. In the null field, you maybe only have a point or two in, if any, but the Rubik can get some nice benefit from the right-click damage. It's another range support, and it's a good support to protect the Drow Ranger and set up kills with the lift. So the Rubik makes a lot more sense when you see this Drow Ranger pick.
But 35 minutes. 35 minutes. The magic number here for OG.
And the nice thing is like they can lose a fight, and then Exorcism's on cooldown, and then they just push. And like without Exorcism, Chronosphere, Secret are very reliant on these long cooldown ultimates, perhaps to fight, and that's something that OG can look to capitalize on.
Well, we posed the question earlier today: what kind of Western teams are really pulling out the Morphling? And this is going to be the second time we see it now. Coming up for
Man,
Envy. One of
we're
the
in
last
like
ranged cores available to help with the Chrono, I guess. It's a small range, but yeah.
We're in a bizarre like new era of Dota. Like traditionally, it's always been the Chinese teams who are slow to adapt, slow to pick up new heroes. even more so when a new patch comes out. It was always like the innovators were like a lot of the European teams, and it's been the Chinese teams who brought Morphling in, brought Terrorblade in. They've been, for the most part, in some ways, the trendsetters. The Void, another big hero that it was teams like LGD and eHome who brought into the metagame. So,
and just so many heroes just gone on the wayside. And to be honest, like I continue to question, like why? Like I already brought up the Wind Ranger, but what about like the Brood Mother and stuff like that? Heroes you might be able to creep into a draft to just end the draft
there's no
right there
CIS
and
team,
there.
no CIS teams in MDL.
Yeah.
So,
but you never know. Like you get
need
the
your-
right draft where they have like no Darkseer, no way to deal with the Spirelings, no wheel to deal with the push, like, and it could be a a dagger. But here we go, folks. It's game number 2 of this matchup. OG versus Secret. OG already have the game 1 victory here. They just need a win to secure their spot into the semifinals, where they're going to be set up to face LGD. Loser of this series will be knocked down into the lower bracket, where they will face either Newbie or Complexity.
yeah. And I think, important thing to know with this OG draft, very much kind of like a pocket strategy. It's a bit cheesy with the put. I mean, to me, Drow Ranger is like the epitome of cheese, like a cheesy strat, because the nature of the draft, like Drow Ranger, is you've got to win fast. This hero is by no means a late game carry. I don't even think you can like classify Drow Rangers in a carry in some ways, because how bad the hero is in the late game. And they're going to be looking to abuse like having the Drow aura with the Forward Spirits, with the Venge bonus damage, with this insane physical damage that they get because it's amplified by the Venge Howl as well, and looking to just take the game to Secret, who've gone fairly greedy with their draft.
So Pi uses some early movement to get a ward down towards the top river.
Manages to not get caught by that sentry too, which is important.
And they will step away from the top, let OG pick up that one. And this will secure the bottom rune for Secret. We will get it. He'll be late to the lane though, and no one's blocking the mid lane for him, so this could be a good start for the OG mid lane.
Yeah. Miracle does go for the Fairy Fires in the Invoker versus Death Prophet matchup. I just find it so. I mean, I'm not a mid player. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Where I wish. Like,
I thought that when Fairy Fire first came out, I'm like, this is for Invoker, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I wish if someone like I could like talk to like Blitz or someone and be like, dude, so you play mid a lot. Like, what's the deal? Like, why is we not getting Fairy Fire on Invoker versus Death Prophet? Like, but here Miracle does decide to do. I mean, it's a very small difference, but
watch him like live because of a Fairy Fire.
yeah.
In this game.
I think it's like a greedier thing. Like the safe options to get Fairy Fire for the heal, but if you can not get Fairy Fire, you've just saved yourself 150 gold, which quote unquote might go to waste.
And here's Pi taking it back a chapter. He's back on his bounty hunter. He's doing bounty hunter things. He got the mid ward down.
That was a little bit of a ward. Yeah, it
Little
almost got
ward.
dewarded, but
He got the tango in real fast.
Yep.
And now Crit is kind of stuck on defensive duty towards the mid lane here.
They know it's there though, at least, which is something they can play around. But being forced to buy more sentries is never going to be fun.
In the meantime, he'll take his business towards the bottom lane, which, thankfully she has the Drow by her side, because otherwise, or she has the Vengeful Spirit rather by her side, because Drow on her own, not very good at being able to get away. Not the biggest escape mechanism. Usually not one to early commit for the silence. So we'll see. But all right, trying to force Misery back. Not the easiest task against this new Faceless Void. But I don't know how many times we've seen Misery play the new Void. It seems like he's been kind of delegated to some of his usual tricksters.
He's a really kind of fun player to watch because he's so open and like his team just puts him on a new hero all the time. Fairy Fire, there we go.
Well,
Saves
that answers your
his
question.
life. All right.
And they get the word deny. Oh my, okay.
That's why you get Fairy Fires, I
Lesson
guess.
maybe learned right on Weehaw as well. And look at that, they got a new sentry for
with the
Pi
cold
with a
snap.
cold snap. He's looking to go in. He wants to get a hold
getting
of
it.
Miracle, but he's not getting it. That is quickly a 2-0 sprint for OG at the start of this one, all breaking down right at the mid lane. Miracle is not the kind of player, especially when it's Invoker, that you want to give an early advantage to.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's
And
off to the races.
Not just like winning the mid lane, like you give him this early advantage to get some more points in the extra.
Top lane, they are going to be able to take down the Spirit Breaker.
Okay.
Morphling chases onto him, and he's not going to be able to charge out to safety.
Yeah. You've always got to worry about those Sunstrikes going to the side lanes as well. You've got set from Magic Missile as well as the Telekinesis, so it's pretty scary for these the secret bottom lane more than this top lane where it's just a Spirit Breaker up top. But if like Puppy's trying to trade hits with Spirit Breaker, gets bashed, and suddenly a Sunstrike comes in, it could be a kill for OG that way as well.
And on the return, Moon is charging towards bottom lane, but I mean, this is just, you know, they're expecting Moon to probably be charging out from somewhere. He's just killed, so what is he? Okay, he stopped in the pit. You know, waiting there for now, and maybe look for an opportunity to go for the mid lane instead. Between Rubik Invoker and the Spear Breaker, they might be able to get a takedown on this Lady Death Prophet. Lead in with some early softening. They're going to get the cold snap. Wow, what a lift to the bottom ground done from Crit, man. And now with the Soul Siphon, is it going to be enough? No, it's not. And Weehaw will go down once more. Man, that Soul Siphon does work, and oh, hoo-hoo.
Oh, the South cancelled by creeps. But Miracle will be fine.
Probably creeping in there, but you know he doesn't want to overcommit because there's a sentry there. He learned his lesson last time.
Yeah, well aware. They kept that one close though. Spirit Breaker's charge was on cooldown from the Roche pit. He couldn't charge like immediately. He got there. He didn't actually get there to even help with the kill, but I mean, the Death Prophet almost found a way.
All set up from Crit, man. He had been forced to park in this mid lane, and he's already finding much more setups than you would suspect, like the Bounty Hunter would. And Moon has been kind of bullied out of his lane. He's now even looking to be a playmaker in the early phase here. Maybe, you know, just banking the fact that they're getting plenty of farm on the Drow in the bottom lane, and now Invoker involved with all 3 kills because they've happened all in the mid lane. That he doesn't really need to worry about it. Now he comes. Suddenly a wild charge. This could be 3 straight takedowns onto Weehaw. Three takedowns. Oh, man. Hard life in the mid lane here. This Death Prophet is being put into a hurt locker right now. Oh. Ouch.
And that's Secret just don't have that like support who can really camp there, protect him. Like be it something like a Dazzle, an Earthshaker, whatever it may be. Like the Bounty Hunter is meant to be like the aggressive support who creates opportunities through. Like, he's not the defensive one who can save him. He's the aggressive one who can set up kills for him, which so far isn't happening. And Draw Range are one of those very vulnerable heroes in lane, so Bounty spent a bit of time in the bottom as well, which isn't really working. Secret just don't have the early game kill potential with a hero like Void and Bounty together.
Oh, Bounty's doing nothing at the start. Something is...
And Void's just been jungling with his Iron Talon. I saw him earlier just on the mini-map. He's been at this camp for a lot of this early game. And the early game for Secret, like they're getting like a slight farm advantage, it seems. Oh, okay, well, experience advantage. There's more split around the map, but the net worth overall led by OG.
So as Misery finds his bit of recovery, we see, you know, Moon has returned back to his lane a bit. Bottom here, Pilot Die happy to soak up some XP through this camp, which Veg has been stacking for herself, so she's had her own bit of solo XP. And Crit continues to float around this Invoker mid lane, man. They are just giving everything he could ask for. And Secret are just trying to find a home of farm for themselves. Even Misery now dancing around just really deep into their jungle.
Yeah, really feeling like he may need to get something done soon, but until he's got level 6 and has Chronosphere in play, it's not really much he can do.
I mean, the big thing going for Secret is, I mean, Envy is farming great in the top lane on his Morphling here, but OG have the lineup that is turn it up and go. And
they just got level 6 on Dro, which is actually a pretty big timing with the huge boost in damage you get on your Precision Aura. That adds a lot of DPS to your overall draft and lineup.
What's the build up here? 3 into the Aura. Yeah. He does 1 into the Cold Arrow. And okay, Magic Missile is going to hit Pi, but he's able to get the Shadow Walk off.
Zoning so they can secure this tower, I guess. Crit sitting back, but I don't think Bounty. Ooh, Bounty! You dare go for it? Pops out. He can't do it with the Shadow Walk on cooldown. He's just guaranteed kill. Or he can. He may just trade his life for a possible deny.
So we saw this from eHome
Yep.
When they had their matchup against EG earlier and against the Morphling, and that was the first. And then they went right to each lane, going, you know, if it was the same case here, OG would go top, take down that tier 1, then mid tier 1. And then you know, like 5 minutes later, they were inside the base here. So, Meatball, Deafening Blast, and Fade Bolt.
That damage output, not just from the Exert spells, but the right clicks of Invoker. It's 177 right click damage.
Fairy Fire, dude.
Yeah, you're right. Without that Fairy Fire, he'd be at 177 instead of 179. That's made all the difference.
Thank you, Drow. Very helpful on that one. As if the Invoker wasn't mighty enough, and okay, they got the vision from Pi, but they changed course, looking to go for Misery, gets a time walk off, but it's not going to be enough to save him.
Again, thank you, Drow.
Man, they all just hit so hard. Okay, here's Wee now. Not happy with that
No
mid lane.
exorcism though.
Taken down 4 times, trying to get a kill here. Moon says, nothing's going to come easy for you. I
mid
also
lane?
will make it out. Well, mid lane, look at this. They're suddenly already knocking down a tier 2 tower.
Morph's just not fight ready. He's like, I can kind of farm top and split push, but
He's like, guys, I don't even have the first component for a Lincoln's here. What do you want me to do? I can't do anything about this. You
OG
want me to-
don't even have double Fort Spirit.
They
They
got
just like
another tower. They took down the mid tier 1. They got the tier 2. They're just running the
great
hell
lift.
back. They're keeping backing away. Coconut will hit on the crit. Oh, wow. A convenient bounce for No Tail here. And I don't think Seeker are going to be able to get the catch on anything. They forced all the mid lane, and OG
Are they
or
going back in?
Moon
No.
says let's go, but I think they're like, no. We got what we needed here. We got the tower. Get back. Then we go top lane next.
Well, OG, like, look, Miracle's bedtime. It's approaching. We're gonna end this one fast. It's already like 10:30. We're gotta go quick. And 9 minutes in, taking a tier 2 tower mid. I wonder if like Invoker's just gonna go like say, let's go Necro 3 or something. Like this is the kind of game where if you want to go for that super fast all-in push, which your draft is about, it's not a bad option. But there's so many options. Like the Yules is still good even in a push strat, just because you catch a hero, you burst him down, and suddenly your push gets a whole lot easier because you've taken the Faceless Void out and there's no Chronosphere to worry about, for example. You've taken Death Prophet out, there's no Crypt Swarm nukes coming out. So plenty of options for OG as far as like itemization in the form of the Invoker. Dro, it looks like just going for like the early treads. Aquila can go for like an SMY here. There's no, like, this is not like a game, like the game we saw earlier, everyone needed BKBs. You don't need BKBs against these heroes right now. You can just go for pure stats and push, and it's going to be a Drums Invoker with a Buckler. So, Crimson Guard or Mech coming out from Invoker, and if that doesn't say we're all in on the push.
Yeah, that is like...
Is it, what's the
Wow.
recipe for on the, can we check that recipe?
On the stash. Thank you, sir.
Headdress. So we'll be Mech, not
Mech?
the Crimson Guard.
Invoker. I mean, who else really is going to be
Yeah,
getting
sure.
it, you know?
It's great
But
to
yeah,
see.
you're right. That's pedal to the metal push right now.
It's like that's a Fata build right there.
Oh, good night. Leads to a swap save inside the Chrono here, coming out from Fly, and that's going to be the kill of Misery. A one-for-one trade, one that is for the better of OG, and now No Tail says let's consider moving in.
Was a track kill.
Oh, nice. He stole. Okay, replicate onto Drow, so now that is a aura benefit for Secret. It's a good grab for Envy.
Yep.
A really, good replicate throughout the whole game. It scales very nicely. Hell, you can even throw that replicate to a different lane and it will split push on its own. But, that's if the game continues that much longer and Seeker are going to be able to hold their own.
And we saw the way EG dealt with this was by just getting tons of kills. And Secret's draft, if they can get tons of kills, will be able to deal with this strategy because they get track money from it. But I don't think they have the same tools that EG had with like
if
the
they can get a big team fight with track kills, that could
Rift
be the big
Silence,
starting point.
Envy.
But yeah, this Envy Morphling is in big trouble and is going to be melting apart right now. And they're looking to go for Wii. They both just instantly fall like a house of cards right there. The rest of Secret scrambling to make a way to safety. And OG are thirsty for it. They know they get a couple of kills, they can get it.
Well,
and crit even just, man.
That evens up the track gold. It's like, okay, you guys think you can get back with track gold? We're going to get further ahead with our own track gold.
They could always double back and, is the Roche up? They could get the Roche, but they're just like, we got this advantage. Morphling's out, and so is the Death Prophet. We could do work fast. A canceled TP.
Look, eHome got a 13-minute Rax. We're going to do 12. We're going to one up eHome. You know, like
wow.
eHome aren't the only ones who can run these trope push strats.
It's good counter morph play. I mean, even though eHome were not successful with it, I guess you could just see the potential.
Yes.
Swap back. Fly's able to get a hold of Misery. Misery just gets all that life back as Moon wants to commit in. OG not happy with this fight so far. Moon very low. They get the drums, and they're looking to retreat. Misery's looking to make chase, but oh man, those Fort Spirits, they hit hard. He's like, I don't want that. They got to get away. OG going to be very happy, though.
Yeah. And they disengage without losing anyone to the track, and
it cost an exorcism.
Was committed,
I didn't see when that was popped, but...
And Secret need to be careful like how they use their ultimates, because ideally for them, they want to have their ultis together. They're far enough behind, they need to have Chrono with exorcism. So now, if OG go for a push, there's Chronosphere, but you've got no exorcism. You need really like all the pieces of the puzzle for Secret to stand a chance. And yeah, we mentioned Roche, easy taking for OG. They've got plenty of damage.
I wonder if they saw the exorcism use. I'm sure if they did, they're like, we don't have to worry about that.
And like the net worth of these OG heroes with all the tower gold they're getting is just going to be looking pretty good right now.
We go ahead and check out that net worth. I'd like to see where Envy does compare to the others on that network. But here we see them tickling at that Roche. And, well, it was there.
Yep.
Man.
Whew.
This aura power coming out right now.
Was
They didn't have the they didn't have the Vengeful Spirit on eHome, did they? That's probably
No.
that's what they were missing. That extra aura. Extra power.
That 1+.
Both ladies.
What? Invoker, there was like a Vlad's or something coming now as well. They're really going all out for the push here. Like this is like they're showing like Secret. This is how you do like the all-in aura push strats. Like you guys only half did it. Well, Secret didn't even really get a chance to push last game into the anti-mage and punish it. But this is why I think we're going to see more and more teams start to do with all these Morphlings, anti-mages, Terrorblades, like these kind of harder late game carries getting picked up, going for these more early game push-oriented strats.
Draw typically like that CIS specialty, but we didn't get to see a lot of CIS teams going against the China
it's a
teams,
mech
you know?
Vlad's Invoker. How often do you see that? Drums, mech Vlad's. We are all in, boys. We don't 35 minutes. OG's saying 25 minutes. Let's set the timer even earlier.
I wonder who's making that kind of a call. If Miracle's telling Fly like, "Hey, I'm gonna go with this," or Fly's like, "Don't get any of that normal Invoker stuff. You get this, and we can get this win that much faster."
I imagine it's something agreed on between them, either during the drafting phase or like as the game develops. Like Miracle either asks him like, "Do I get what do you suggest?" Fly suggests something, and then if Miracle probably has some say. Like if he doesn't agree, he's probably not going to buy it. Like that's generally like what if the captain's like adamant, like you have to get it, then yeah. But
all right, the classic Soul Ring pickup from Envy when the game's looking a bit tough.
Whoa, it's slightly unexpected. Guarantees, I guess you have the mana to like replicate.
It feels like they know Secret have got to expect that OG are going to be looking for the final blow here. They got the Roche. They're coming in. Scrap together what you can of a defense and try to make a hold. Get a big team fight. If you get the tracks out and you can get the job done, you might be rewarded with a window to kind of, make the first steps toward a bit of a comeback here. But if OG walk away with this with an easy set of racks, then you might have to just kind of turn over at that point. Now they're making a big go into Miracle here, but he still has all that utility. Looks like he's reserving a bit of it for the second life. They will be popping out the mech right there, and he just starts going to work here on Envy. Envy is going to be forced to step back. They get the pull on the Weehaw, and Weehaw goes down. A hard game for him. Commitment on in. They're still not able to bring down Miracle's first life. Death Ward coming out from Puppey here. He gets a good position, but eventually will be caught out and taken down. 3 already go down from the side of Secret.
Still got the Aegis too. The Urn's going to heal Miracle back up, so they're going to have to dish through all that HP once again. No Tail surviving in the back. He was kind of the main target, knowing he didn't have Aegis, which was overall a pretty good idea for Secret. They don't overcommit on the Invoker who's got Aegis. They go for the squishier Dro, the Aegisless Dro, but OG's 5-man just too powerful, and 60 minutes in, full lane of racks, looking for a second.
All right, this is it for Secret. You want to stay alive and move on in the upper bracket. You're going to have to make a defense here. Let's see what they can do about it. They're still trying to take down the first life. They get the time dilation off, so that could lead to the Aegis fall. It looks like it will. But Moon steps in. He goes right for Misery. Misery's going to be taken down, and now the Soul Siphons begin to come out from Wii. Throwing himself into the fray right here, trying to get what he can done, but he just goes down so fast. Now they look to get hold of Pi. They swap him back into trouble. Puppey goes down, and that will be game. OG get it done in about 16 minutes. Really show what this Dro lineup can do. eHome got to, they kind of set the bar, but then OG jumped right over it.
That was something. I mean, we've had some very quick games here at MDL. We've had some very, it's been like a lot of just extremities here. Like we've had the really short 15 to 20 minute games. A lot of those coming from OG. Some of their wins have been incredibly fast. They had like a 15-minute win over Newbie earlier in the tournament in the group stage, and here, like OG continue to just do the business. They get the job done, and they're looking like one of the most. The thing is, like OG's looking so ridiculously dominant right now. To think like Vici Gaming 2-0'd them in the group stage and is looking even more dominant. Like right now, the level of Dota being played from some of these teams is just incredible.
Yeah, hard time for Secret in this one, specifically Wee, man. He was punished in that mid lane. You're talking 4 straight takedowns.
Crit was like the player this game.
That's the guy you got to give the credit to. Crit was like the Steve Nash of this game, just setting up all the assists for his team. I was a bit skeptical seeing the Rubik, and we said it too. We're just like, what is the Rubik really going to get done here? Well, Crit makes me look like a fool. And
his play speaks for itself.
He's like, oh, yeah. Maybe I won't get an Earth Spirit. Maybe I won't get a Tusk. or a Wisp. Doesn't matter.
It was good. It was like an Earth Spirit where he didn't have to be under the tower. Like your Earth Spirit, you roll in, you hit him, you slow him, and then it's like, oh, he died, but I'm under their tower. I'm dead. With
And
Rubik, you lift him, you're still in safety. You're
and
not
even
going down.
Moon too. Like Moon got taken down early, but at that point on, he's like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna go to the lane. He's like, I'm just gonna make fights happen everywhere else. I mean, this seems to be the overall schematic for our lineup. It's just eventually we're gonna have to come together and go. The more opportunities we can set up, and the faster we can get that ball rolling, the better it's gonna turn out. Didn't need to be 35 minutes. Half the time, nearly.
Yeah, they
For them to
seized
get it done.
they seized all the right moments. Like when they were pushing high ground, they waited until they had the silence or like a nether strike opportunity on the faceless void, and then they fully committed. They never fully committed in a situation where they could get chronosphere. They only went into the high ground. It was just like Invoker alone on the high ground until a silence or a nether strike hit void, and then they're like, okay, we got the void. There's no chronosphere. We win the fight. And they took the top lane of Rax. They took the mid lane of Rax twice by killing Misery. I mean, for Misery, it's like you don't have that support or hero sing behind you who can help keep you alive. So he doesn't want to solo Chronosphere and Invoker. That's going to lose you the fight. He also can't get to the back lines. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. This is like 15 minutes in. You're never going to have a Blink as a Void by that stage of the game. So he was in this impossible scenario where too much was being asked from him. Like the only thing I could think of was like you go for like some YOLO smoke out, flank from behind kind of thing as a Void. But even that is like a long shot. So really, really great play from OG.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if Secret are going to shake that one off. They're not out yet. They are going to be moved down into the lower bracket. Still not exactly sure who they're set to face up against with the possible swap or not, but it's either newbie or complexity.
They're
It will
versing
be
newbie.
newbie.
So
Okay.
Secret newbie and complexity EG. Oh, we get the complexity EG matchup. That'll be great. Always
PPD versus Swindle Melons.
The rematch from TI as well.
Mm.
That's going to be
Very
a good
good.
series.
And then for the winner, they now move on and they have the treat to face LGD. So OG versus LGD. That should be an exciting one. Both very capable Wisp / Earth Spirit. That's going to be a fun one to watch. So lots of fantastic Dota in store for us, but that will wrap things up for day 2 of the LAN action here for MDL. That's Parker. I'm KotLGuy, and we're going to be closing out the show. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching for all you diehard fans out there. We're going to cut to a break. We're going to get some frickin' rest because we certainly need it. And when we come back tomorrow, things are going to get a bit more intense, and we'll be back with more Dota action. Thanks again. We'll see you then.